Alright, let me position this so everybody can see. Alright. Hopefully everybody can see okay. So let's get into it. Yeah, Sol and ABBA. This is definitely something I'm going to need some of your input on, Green. But I could talk about the ABBA side for sure. So we're watching from the ABBA's perspective. And something I always like to preface with is whenever we're watching VOD reviews, we are checking ideally the macro and the micro. So overall, why'd you lose the round or win? And then the micro interactions of what went right and what went wrong. In particular, anytime you get hit, you probably did something wrong. So let's take a look. So jumping forward on round start. Already a lot of jumping, yeah. Immediate burst back into whiff up, run up, I see. So this is something I was mentioning in the training mode. You can keep yourself from uninstalling by holding FD or just immediately uninstalling. I missed that. I was reading the chat. Let me back this up here. Okay. Jumping on round start again. Oh, nice catch. Nice. Sweet. We can check it out. That is unfortunate for you, Sludge. Holy cow. The 2H mash is crazy. Alright, this Soul is really aggressive. Jumping in? Okay, far slash. 3 far slashes in a row. An interesting choice. And throw on wake up. Happens. Nice. Okay, alright. I like that backdash in neutral. Okay. You can get a huge normal mode combo off far slash for sure. Alright, so let's talk a bit about some ABBA stuff I saw, and then we'll talk about some Soul stuff, and we'll go from there. So let's start with, ideally, anytime as ABBA you get a hit, you're going to want to be breaking the wall. Getting super wall break is also really good. Awesome, thank you, Green. Let's take a look at this here. I want to start with some of the other hits. So first off, round start. Let's talk about a couple of different things here. So the first rounds, the Soul represented jump forward, and then they did jump H, which actually this works in your favor. You guys both got counter hit. Round 2, he did far slash on round start, and then on the final round, he did just walk back and then backdash, and is attempting to react to what you're doing. So all three of these, something that could really improve your round start for ABBA in particular. Sorry. Let's pull up the training mode real quick. So, ABBA's round starts can be pretty tough and committal due to her limited mobility. So typically, you're either going for like 236k or 214k if you really want to get crazy. Absolutely, it did vary their stuff a lot. Let me character specific. So in normal mode, a lot of times what I like to do is just walk back and then react and do 5H. Walk back 5H is really good. On counter hit, you get a really nice combo. So like if they whiff or mash something, then you know what I mean. I just do this, and now you got an install, and you're good to go. It's meterless. You could break the wall if you really wanted to. I don't know how to do it, but I know you can. I think it's this. I sideswalked by accident. But you get what I'm trying to say. Walk back fire slash is really good. You don't want to be jumping on round start unless you got to read about something. And typically what you're doing when you jump forward is you're looking for them to like whiff far slash, and then you're whiff punishing on the way down with like jump D or jump S depending on their delayed timing, things of that nature. Being ready to contest in the air is obviously really good. I saw you use jump P a lot to contest. I would recommend switching to jump K. It just has a little bit more range, and it's a little bit easier to pick up off of because K normals have that pop-up property when they counter hit in the air. A couple of other things to make note of. If we position reset and we set the soul to far slash on round start, which is one of the options he represented. Hello, Sophie. You can't really whip punish souls far slash from reaction. I mean, yeah, that's fine too. I don't particularly like jumping. I'm just saying if you are jumping, that's what you're particularly looking for, not necessarily against soul. But in this scenario, he's doing far slash on round start. I don't know if you saw, but I was doing a lot of 2D against the Nago. 2D trades really favorably for you. Oopsies. You can get a slide like that, and you can get a meaty. We are doing Sledge's VOD review. Let me pull this up here. So that's a really good option. Oops, not jump. Another one you could do is 5K. 5K is a really good option. 2K is a really good option. The slide meaty is really good. It's literally when you trade, dash, slide, and then you're in. It's really good. It works really well. Honestly, ABBA's 2D is a really good round start option. It is very committal, but it's good. But 5K is a really good option. It trades very favorably or interacts very favorably with a lot of far slashes, which is why it's really nice. You could also, like I mentioned, walk back. Oopsies, I mashed a little too early. You can walk back and try to whiff punish. Wow. Okay, Soul's far slash reaches. So then there you go. 5K is probably 5K and 2K are ABBA's easily her best normals in normal mode. You should use them all the time. I almost always use her kicks over her punches. That's how good they are. And the range on them is just exceptional. If you can look, it's probably double the range. Unless you do like sliding and stuff like that. It also gives you better range to confirm into stuff like Rekka. I don't really even go directly into it to key grab just because at tipper ranges you can whiff, you know. Let's turn off the round call. Position reset, off on the round call. So a lot of times what I saw that you were doing was when you got knocked down, you were mashing a lot. In normal mode, you should definitely just block if you get knocked down. Soul's pressure is really suffocating, and you're just not going to want to you need to block it out. He's going to do way more damage on counter hit than you will. BRC off 5k and stuff, making it more plus exactly. That's very true. 5k dash BRC is always really good. So that's something to keep in mind. One of the nice things about it, I believe, let me take the frame advantage real quick. Okay, it's still negative. What you typically want to do, what I like to do instead on block is 5k key grab and fast RC install, and that leaves you plus 16, which lets you, run mix-ups on your opponent. Her fast RC stuff is really, really good. So learning it is really powerful for you. Plus 16 means that you can do a 2-frame gap on the overhead, or you can do a gapless into the low, which is really good. Fast RC install can definitely be tough, but it's definitely doable with practice. Some other fast RC stuff she has is like the overhead. Like that string is really good for keeping up your offense without burning a ton of meter. What else am I thinking of? Yeah, that's typically something I do if I'm in people's faces and doing like normal mode pressure. I'll do like this, and that's how I can build. Because that sequence right there builds like 27% rage, and then the fast RC lets you install and start pressure. Do I do a jumping high afterwards? No, you don't really do BRC in normal mode. It's just an option. Let's see if I can do fast RC install. What that looks like. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, I don't think I can do this. Alright, that was -3. That was -17. That's -7. Okay. Yeah. Not ideal in normal mode. Honestly, what I would say is if you want to do like close / BRC, you're honestly better doing RC into, or key grab into fast RC install. Something else I see people do a lot is Rekka, full RC install, and that leaves you -5, and that's really good. You can do the fast RC and it's -1, and this is a really good way to get in because it lets you frame trap off a pretty far distance, and you're only -1. Or if you want to keep it easy, you can do that and be -7, which ideally -7 is not great, but people will surprisingly respect it. So it's a couple of things to consider. I wouldn't necessarily go for that. I always prefer the fast RC versions, but grabbing to jump and install is terrifying mix. Yeah, for sure. Something I like to do a lot is when you get throw in the corner, you can do close / OTG. Obviously, freaking forgot to set him not to DP on wake up. This obviously loses to DPs. Yeah, I would not want to be -7 against anybody, but am I doing this wrong? This is supposed to work. So there's that string. I guess I don't know why it's not working for me here. This is tripping me out. I guess just do regular walk up. You want to do it obviously as low as possible. Oopsies. The reason I'm trying to show this is you can do fast RC install that way, and that built a ton of rage. Kara gun frame can be potentially plus depending on which part hits. Yeah, we'll talk about soul stuff in a second. I want to keep talking about some ABBA stuff. Let me go back to our VOD real quick. There was some other part I wanted to discuss. Nope, not that one. This one. let me see. You got a hit in here that I want to talk about. Okay, well, let's come back to that spot actually. Move forward. He got the throw here. Oops. Not what I was looking for. Let's see here. Okay, so you... I see, he did YRC. Okay, here's one. This is what I want to talk about. So, one, he throws you into the corner, and you get a 5p on that fall down. If you had done jump K instead, that would have comboed. Like, for instance, if we switch it here back to training mode, go to opponent status, and they're going to get counter hit. The frame advantage on falling jump K is a lot better. You can still do it off of... Let me see if I get this right. You can still do it off of JP, but I personally find doing the jump K makes it a lot easier. Let's switch back real quick. So then you get your knockdown, or you don't get your knockdown. You get a burst though, which is pretty nice. Alright, here, you get key grab. Nice, throw. And so let's talk about what to do off of this throw here. Yeah, JMK key grab is really good. So let's look at this here. You get throw, and you end up doing some shenanigans, which is fine. I'm going to set back into Jealous Rage. So if you are in Jealous Rage, and you get a throw, this gives you a hard knockdown. You get a couple of different options. Any close slash OTG will let you either do the fuzzy mix, which the fuzzy is a safe jump, because I know that that seems to be part of your routing, was you were worried about the reversal. So that is a safe jump. And if let me do this real quick. I'm going to set all block, and I'll put him back to reversaling. Yeah, it's all the same. Each of the knockdowns is the same. So on recovery, let's do Volcanic Viper. So now he's going to DP on Wake Up. Oopsies. So it gives you mix, and it's a safe jump. Really good stuff. You can also mess up with your opponent by doing a cross up. Clearly I can't do it right. And that's also a safe jump. So that's pretty good. Between cross up and the hop or the fuzzy off of that close slash OTG, your pressure is going to get a lot scarier. This also applies to any Rekka ender. So if, yeah, the cross up safe jumps. Off of Rekka, you can do the same thing, close slash OTG. This one does not safe jump though. That's something I should make a note of. If you get like a good amount of gravity scaling, let me do this. Something like that. So if you have really high gravity scaling, they'll recover faster and you won't be able to do it. But if you have like a pretty low amount of scaling, then you should be able to safe jump on the cross up. But you can always do same side on the fuzzy setup, and that will safe jump. Yeah. So that's some really good stuff. On the super wall break, the answer is yes. It will safe jump as well, if I do it right. Give me 1 second, I'll show you. So there you go. So you can do stuff like that. Yeah, that post-wall fuzzy mix is really, really, really strong, and is ultimately how ABBA will snowball her games. Something else I will make a note of is ABBA's 2D and Jealous Rage is really good. I mean, this thing is humongous. So feel free to take advantage of that. Yeah, any hard knockdown in Jealous Rage. Some other things that she can do that I think are really cool. This is a bit more advanced, so you may not necessarily want to go for it. But if ABBA is in normal mode and you've got a decent amount of rage, you can do Rekka Rekka, faster C install, and it lets you pick up. So you can do like that off of normal modes Rekka, which is obviously really good. Of course, this works off of 2K2D as well. Of course, I'm going to keep messing it up. She can punish certain things with backdash and rage because it's so fast. I don't know what you would use it on, where you would use it on defense. Okay, well let's talk about soul and defense then. And this is where green will definitely help me out. Soul is a strike throw character, which is typically good for ABBA. Let me swap these two characters around. Against Soul's offense, even her backdash doesn't work against his close slash. Yeah. So, where is he? Oh, he's right here. So ABBA's Jealous Rage backdash, and even a normal mode backdash to some extent, works much better mid-screen than it does in the corner. And knowing where to backdash is going to be key. So a couple of things to make a note of is Soul's block strings typically are close slash, far slash, 5H. That's the quote-unquote true block string, right? He has ways of varying this up, but that is the all of this is real, you gotta block it style. He can make any of these hits catch backdash. Backdash. Yeah. So you can see I'm trying to catch the backdash here in between, and it's not easy to do. So backdashing in between close slash and far slash can be good. Of course, he can call it out. See. That works really well, obviously, but if you're far away from the corner, he doesn't even get a pickup on it. So backdashing against Soul's pressure is quite good. And as you may notice, so something to keep in mind, let's say you backdash the far slash and he whiffs the 5H, right? Depending on the frame advantage, you're only a couple of frames positive here. So right now, ABBA is +3 after backdashing the whiffed 5H. You can typically, once I backdash in this scenario, I would want to try to counterpoke with like 2K or 5K as ABBA to try to stuff his approach without getting super whiff punished. I see. That makes sense. So, he obviously has ways to catch backdash, but the thing to remember is forcing him into doing close slash 6S is much better pressure-wise than his normal close slash far slash 5H string. So representing backdash mid-screen is very strong. He has a very hard time chasing it. The other thing to make a note of is FD. You should basically always be FDing Soul's pressure. Something to make a note of. So if I'm going to set the bot to normal block, you're in the corner, close slash, far slash, 5H, all of that combo, or you obviously you can see it blocks all naturally. If you set if you stand block with FD, the 5H just whiffs. There's no way that he can make it connect. He has to have run momentum, and he's got to do it all tight. If he like even starts to delay it, the pushback gets higher, and you're able to escape. So stand FDing is really good against Soul. In particular, I say stand FD because crouching FD has less pushback. So, but I mean, it works either way, in the corner at least. Yeah, he did not. So like a lot of souls will do stuff like that. Dash up close 2k 2d. So that's where you gotta kind of be careful of the scenario. But if he runs up and gets a close slash, he's just gonna be doing close slash pressure again on you. And then the exact same scenario resets. And taking 2k 2d is obviously much better than taking close slash or far slash or 5h. It is a really good frame trap. Same thing doing this. Just close slash into 2k. You get the idea though. If you block Gunflame, I'm going to keep the bot no longer backdashing. Even at this range, Soul's -2. Further out, it was 0. If he's closer, he's more minus. Gunflame is the end of his pressure. Now, that being said, you can't really contest him when he's -2 at this range. You can RPS with like 2k and far slash or things of that nature. This is where Sludge, I would try and use far slash if I had a read. Since Abba's far slash is 10 frame startup and forward advancing, it's more likely to hit anything that he's doing, and he would have to hit like his own 2k or 6p or something to contest, which whiffs, and he doesn't really want to be whiffing normals in your face like that. It also would beat his far slash because he's -2 and they have the same startup, so yours would hit 2 frames faster. So that's something to consider. Let me do this actually. I'll set them to far slash. So like if you block it at this range, you can see far slash becomes a pretty good answer. Obviously 2D punishes there depending on the range. Soul here is probably hitting 2D or backdashing off to whiff punish. Yeah, absolutely. And that's nice. You can do the same thing, honestly, and you could do 2D if you wanted. So your 2D will beat his. It'll also beat his far slash. So 2D is a pretty nice option in this scenario as well. But it does have longer whiff recovery. So like he could try and get back in on you. It's just some options to represent, specifically against Soul after Gunflame, but it's just some things to keep in mind. So, stand FDing is the way to go versus Soul. You want to stand FD. You want to represent backdash in mid screen. You want to be a lot careful about representing backdash in the corner. Typically in the corner, you are looking to mash 2K or things of that nature to either low profile his far slash or to snipe him running back in. So a lot of the game looks like you're FDing Soul and then you're reading a run back in and you're hitting like 2K to snipe his run in. Because at like this further range, he wants to run in and you can see it's really hard to get back in. Yeah, you can't really backdash Soul in the corner unless it's specifically against the 2K 2D frame trap. Or if he goes for a grab. Yeah. You backdash mid-screen and you 2K in the corner. That's typically the options you represent on defense. Or fuzzy jump. I like fuzzy jumping against Soul in the corner, but I also play Mei a lot. So your mileage will vary, obviously, as Habba. But of course, any of her aerials can hit and connect into, allowing her to shift into Jealous Rage, so that's obviously really good. Um, let me think about this here. A couple of other things to make note of. Abba's 2P also punishes Bandit Revolver. Bandit Revolver... I gotta remember what the actual... Okay, Bandit Revolver 1, you can actually 2k for a punish on Bandit Revolver 1, and 2k punish on a Bandit Revolver 2. You actually get a close slash punish on them, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's very negative on block, but obviously it can be delayed for a frame trap. And that lets him start his pressure over again. Or he can RC and he can get a combo. So obviously you got to be careful. But if he doesn't have RC and he does Bandit Revolver 1, honestly you could just mash close slash after it, and he's either getting, as you can see, that soft knockdown, or he's stopping and you're going to get a punish on him. You can safely fuzzy mesh 6p against it, I believe. But it'll be a worse combo. The thing for Abba in normal mode is every hit doesn't matter about damage, you just need to get into Jealous Rage. So 6p works really well. Then. So there you go. Fuzzy match 6p against Bandit Revolver. You do need to be careful. Again, if he has meter, he's going to be doing the, you know, that whole deal. But the thing to point out here is they're doing 2k and it snipes far slash into far slash. So it's designed to go under. But obviously he can do, you know, that. So you just need to be careful and get your reads right when it comes to his offense. Okay, I think that's a pretty good synopsis. A couple of other things I want to make a note of is his dive kick. Bandit Bringer. Bandit Bringer is -2 on block, which means typically when you see it, what you want to do is try to dash into it and then throw punish. Throw punishing is pretty consistent. It's -4 without FD. I didn't realize the FD changed the frame data. Yeah, it's -2. Maybe I need to be standing. There we go, -3. So, spacing dependent. Seems like I'm pretty consistently getting into these -3. But as you can see, it leaves him really close, so you can throw punish this move. Unless he's like really at the tipper range, and then he's just gonna do, you know what I mean? He's gonna do DP in your face and all the normal stuff. And then what was the last one? Oh yeah, Fafnir. Fafnir is -3, which means typically he's going to do typical -3 shenanigans. He's going to represent either mash, DP, backdash, or do nothing. This is just a mind game that you should be mindful of. But something that Green pointed out to me yesterday was that 5H into Fafnir can be thrown. So this is something to be mindful of. Obviously, again, it's spacing dependent. Not very. So just be mindful in the corner that you can throw it. This is obviously a huge read, so don't go for it very often. Also, there you go, Green. At tipper range, it doesn't work. So if people are like FDing him, Yeah, that's pretty scary. But up close, you can throw it. I really personally don't think that this is good counterplay, but it is technically counterplay. So, something to make a note of. Does it work even if they delay it? Yes. It's better offline. Sure, bud. Whatever you say. Oh my goodness. Sorry, gotta readjust. My legs are getting cramped. Okay. I think these are the main points I wanted to make about Soul and ABBA. I think a lot of the stuff that will improve that VOD was having better defense against Soul and having your own better offense. ABBA typically wants to just win off of a single interaction, so making sure that when you get into Jealous Rage, you stay in Jealous Rage and win is really important. The last thing that I'll make about ABBA is if you are running low on Jealous Rage, something that I really like to do is my spacing was an issue. Yeah, it definitely can be. It's just something to be mindful of. One thing that if you're running low on Jealous Rage, so something I like to do is 2D and uninstall. It's minus 11, but it's really tricky. Most people do not punish it, or if you manage to actually get a hit, any Rekka, you can run up and uninstall, and it gives you enough time for a meaty. Obviously, I have them set to reversal right now. What? Oh, right, on recovery. So on recovery, and you can see I'm still plus 15. So you have plenty of time to run up and uninstall safely and keep your pressure going. I've even occasionally done the run up uninstall. That. It's a little slow and jank, but it baits throws, which is pretty nice. And it gives you a lot of rage. So I would make sure to take advantage of that. But typically, if you can get all the way to the wall, then you want to get all the way to the wall. I'm sure you know, but like 2K2D into Donzai, and you can do Kara. I'm gonna mess it up. You can do the Kara 236Ks, and it'll let you carry. I love baiting your throw and stand really close to them. But yes, if you're in rage and you knock the opponent down, always go for close slash OTG. That's what sets up a really good offense. Like that stuff, those two mix-ups in particular, are what is going to make you go really, really far. I don't really know of a reason not to. The only other reason, no, that's pretty much it. I would always do that. JS jump D to corner carry. Like I said, corner carry and wall splatting is really, really nice. Because that's how you can build back your rage. It's the only reason to Rekka and then uninstall is if you can't reach the wall. Abbott is cool. A couple of other things to note. Landing a key grab. You get a meaty close slash after that. Or you can run up and do Donzai. If you get a Rekka Ender into install, you do not have time to do meaty close slash. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So I'll set him to throw on wake up. So like if you do, well, maybe it does work now. Yeah, there you go. So 2K2D Rekka Rekka install does not let you run up and do it in time. characters already do a good amount of damage should probably consider their meter gain and corner carry more than damage. Oh, yes, exactly. ABBA does enough damage that doesn't really matter. I almost never consider damage when it comes to ABBA routing. I pretty much always optimize for rage meter and positive bonus. It's really all that matters. So, um, the other thing I want to make a note of is 2K2D Rekka Rekka install does not. You can run up into Donzai, um, and off of key grab you can run up into Donzai. Just be careful not to run up too far, as if you run up too far on the Rekka Rekka install, then they can throw you. Obviously, it's a lot scarier now that her counter hit launches. Back when she first released, counter hit Donzai didn't launch, so it wasn't nearly as scary. 2K Rekka is better because it has more range and 2D will fall short. Yeah, absolutely. And like I showed earlier, a lot of times what I would do is that. And that'll usually let you, if I can get it to work right. And then you get their OTG setup, and you can do those mixes we've been talking about. So that's really good. Block Donzai does drain a lot of rage. I don't really use it a ton unless I am anticipating they are going to do a meaty, or sorry, a reversal. Isn't meaty Donzai quite good for ABBA against Soul? I mean, it's fine. It just drains a lot of meter. There's better stuff to do. One thing I like to do a lot if I have the rage is I will meaty really deep with 236K and stand, guard, no switching. If you do it really late, ABBA can be +2, and then she can keep pressuring after with like 2K, 2D, or do whatever she wants to do. So if I don't think they're going to reversal, then there's just better offense you can run. Dash momentum 2K sounds sick. It is really good. See if he can consistently whiff punish it with deflect shield. He can. Everybody in the cast can whiff punish Donzai's second hit too if they deflect shield the first hit. But that's like a level of counterplay that I don't necessarily consider until the opponent shows that they can represent it as an option. And it wasn't in the VOD, so I don't want to waste, well, not waste, but it would take up a lot of time to go over it, and I want to try to get to the other ones. Stagger 2K can catch them off guard for sure. Okay. Any other questions about ABBA before we go to the next one? We're probably only going to have time for 3 VODs today. People get me with Donzai deflect shield a lot. Well, fair enough then. I don't really run into that a ton, but I don't use Donzai a ton. So, kind of is what it is. Thank you very much. Alright.